Bhujbal Knowledge City, the part of MIT League of Colleges, driven by a single-minded focus on imparting quality education. MIT BKC Institute of Pharmacy established in 2006 with a mission to develop students socio-technically. The institute has maintained the quality right from the establishment, as it reflects from the accreditation and various awards which college has achieved. MIT IOP is the first NBA accredited pharmacy institute in Nasik region. MIT BKC Institute of Pharmacy has been approved by AICTE PCI and is affiliated to Savitribai Phule, Pune University. MIT BKC IOP offers full-time courses in Bachelor of Pharmacy, Masters of Pharmacy and PhD. Institute stands for its excellent, well-lighted and ventilated ambience with range of facilities like classroom which are equipped with an overhead projector, speakers, smart board, etc. Well-equipped and spacious laboratories which provide experimental learning experience. State-of-art pilot plant simulating the pharmaceutical industry with range of equipments for formulation, development and evaluation. Institute has separate instrument room having range of sophisticated instruments as per the need of industry and research work like HPLC, UV, FTIR, etc. Heart of Institute, the library, one of its own kind with open access, great ambience and various national and international book collections to give great learning experience. Institute is also a well with gymnasium which is equipped with a number of professional electronic and manual universal fitness machines along with indoor sport facilities and music room. Campus also has an amphitheater for social gathering and expression of students. The institute believes that the quality of faculty member and their commitment to excellence is the core competence towards its development. With this thought, institute have more than 50% doctorates, 200 plus publications, 5 patents, 1 copyright and 16 book publications. Our students are encouraged to take part in national and international competitions and events as part of their curriculum. To add feather on hat, we have Ms. Archana Kapse, Air 3 in GPAT 2019, Mr. Aditya Darade, Air 1 in GPAT 2014 and Mr. Parag Mehta, Air 15 in GPAT 2010, who have qualified national level exam GPAT with dignified ranks. MIT IOP has signed 8 Memorandum of Understanding, that is MOU, amongst them are Japanese Industry, Asahi Kasei and Malaysian University Technology Mara. MIT Institute of Pharmacy provide a platform for expressing students and showcase their hidden talent through Antaranga and MIT Utsav annual social gathering. Success comes down to you with appropriate attitude, effort and focus, which is certified by various achievements which Institute has received. Best Magazine Award by SPPU, Champions Trophy at National Pharmacy Week, Award for the Best Research Paper and Presentation, Best College Award by Student Development Board SPPU for Student Welfare Activities. Institute has also been honored with highest rank Platinum by AICTE C2 survey for its outstanding linkage with industries for consequently 2 years, which surely strengthen the institute and students to survive in this brave new world of technology. Bhujbal Knowledge City Institute of Pharmacy, the place where your search ends.
A very good morning to one and all. I, Professor Rani Kankate, welcome you all for online webinar on awareness on intellectual property rights. This event is organized by the Institute Innovation Council, Mumbai, Educational Trust Institute of Pharmacy, Bhujbal Knowledge City, Adgaon Nasik, in association with Indian Patent Office, Mumbai, for pharmacy learners and professionals. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to our Institute of Pharmacy, which is marking 30 years of excellence with the generous support and vision of Honorable Mr. Chhagan Bhujbal sir, and also with the continuous support of Honorable Mr. Samir Bhujbal sir, Mr. Pankaj Bhujbal sir, trustees of Mumbai Educational Trust, and respected Shefali Bhujbal ma'am, the chief administrator. The institute started its journey towards academic excellence in 2006 and is approved by AICTE, PCI, and is permanently affiliated to Savitribai Phule Pune University. Med Institute of Pharmacy is NBA and NAC accredited and is honored with a platinum rank in a C2 survey for Industry Institute Interaction by AICT. Our institute had good NRF rank among Pharmacy Institute of India in a survey 2020. Med Institute of Pharmacy offers a various courses like D Pharmacy, B Pharmacy, PharmD, M Pharmacy in pharmaceutics, pharmaceutical chemistry, quality assurance technique, pharmacology, and PhD in pharmacy. MIT College of Pharmacy has established Institution Innovation Council in academic year 2018-19 under the guidelines of MHRD Innovation Cell to promote innovation and entrepreneurship at institute level. Institution Innovation Council invites a various eminent entrepreneur every year to deliver lectures in order to educate students about the joys and hardships of entrepreneurship. Guest lecture, workshop, and field visit are conducted throughout the year to involve the students in activities that are essential to be an entrepreneur. And it is happy to share that our institute 5 projects are shortlisted by MHRD in IIC National Innovation Council Contest 2020. And also our college shortlisted for conducting the Impact Lecture Series in 2021. And in a virtual function held on December 2021 by the Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, and it announced that the performance result of Institution Innovation Council for 2020 and 2021, the MIT IOP Institution Innovation Council has been ranked as one of the good performer for promoting innovation and startup and gained 3.5 star rating. Hence, by identifying the need of creating awareness about intellectual property rights and acquire the knowledge of process regarding it, we MITians are trying to foster it with this session. Now, I would like to request Dr. Sandeep Sonawne sir to introduce our today's resource person, Dr. Ajay Thakur sir. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good morning, all of you. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce the resource person of today's webinar, Dr. Ajay Thakur sir. Sir has completed his LLB from University of Mumbai, MPhil and PhD in Marketing Management from University of Pune, and LLM in Intellectual Property Rights and Information Technology from University of Mumbai. Along with this, Sir has completed several certificate courses organized by World Intellectual Property Organization, that is WIPO. Sir was recipient of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Sanitary Award for securing highest marks in LLB from University of Mumbai. Presently, Dr. Thakur is working as Assistant Controller of Patents Design, Group A Gazetted Officer in Patent Office, Government of India, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Mumbai since 2003. The nature of duties mainly involves granting, refusing of the patent applications forwarded by examiners, by conducting hearings, by analyzing the techno-legal examination report of the examiner related to the patent application under the Patent Act 1970, and analysis of search patents and non-patented documents cited for investigating novelty and inventiveness of the innovations claimed by the patent. Previously, Sir was worked as a senior scientific officer in Hindustan Antibiotics Limited, Pune, and also worked with RPG Life Sciences. Sir has attended several training in India as well as abroad. Sir has conducted over 1,000 patent awareness program in various industries, universities, colleges, and schools. With this brief introduction, on behalf of MIT's Institute of Pharmacy, Nasik, I welcome you, respected Dr. Ajay Thakur, sir, and request you to start the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sandeep, for my brief introduction, and a very good morning. I hope I am audible and visible to everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Respected Dr. Sanjay Shirsagar, sir, principal of this college, MIT College. Then Dr. Rani Kankate, madam, who is the coordinator. And then Sandeep Sonone, sir, who is the event coordinator. I'm very much thankful for inviting me on this auspicious occasion of NIPAM, that is National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission, organized by Government of India, along with the Patent Office. Now, there are many misconceptions regarding the intellectual property rights. So we will see what are the things. The basic aim is to encourage the students to know about their what are intellectual property rights, how these rights are governed, what different kinds of things are there. So basically, we will start with the session. I will start with my presentation so that all the doubts relating to intellectual properties will be clear. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Your presentation is visible now.
Okay. So I want this session to be very interactive, and by the end of this session, I want everybody to be very much aware of what is intellectual property and how different intellectual properties are there and how different kind of domains are registered under this kind of intellectual property. So basically coming to, we are hearing this word IPR, IPR, IPR. What is that IPR? So IPR is a collective term for intellectual property rights. Sir, I suppose I am audible now properly. If any doubt is there, if anything is there, you please mark me or stop me at that point, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, you are audible.
Okay. So IPR is a collective term for intellectual property rights. Now, what is intellectual property right? What are intellectual property? First of all, understand what is intellectual property. Intellectual property basically means the legal rights which result from intellectual activity in the industrial, scientific, literary, and artistic work. Now, what is that intellectual activity? That we will discuss. First of all, God has given us the greatest gift that God has given to mankind is his brain. And this brain has the ability to think. And apart from that ability, he produces certain things which are not only necessary but important to society. But some important articles of trade that are being produced, and because of which this intellectual property is important. Now, what is that? So basically, intellectual property refers to the creation of mind. What is that creation of mind? Once your brain thinks of some idea and he starts producing on that thing, for example, preparation of a mobile phone or any other electronic gadget or any other car. So this is nothing but the result of creation of mind. Now, what is that creation of mind? That we will see. So basically, first understand that intellectual property is nothing but the result of human intellect. Whatever our brain thinks of, that brain produces something, and that article is very useful to society. That is intellectual property. Now, what is that? For example, when we talk of intellectual property, it is classified into two types. That is industrial property and copyright. Now, basically understand when we talk of industrial property, it includes patents for inventions, trademarks, industrial design, geographical indications. Whereas the other sort of intellectual property is copyright. So what is that copyright? That we will see. First, therefore, now basically understand that intellectual property rights are the like any other property rights. They allow the creators or owners of patents, trademarks, or copyrighted work to benefit from the work or investment in a creation. So see, you have an idea and you produce that idea into something useful, that is useful to the society. For example, you prepare a mobile phone, you have invented in a mobile phone. There are chances that this mobile phone or the idea of that mobile phone may be copied by some other person. So previously, without any protection, this idea were easily stolen by the neighboring persons. Not only in the field of mobile phone, but everywhere. So once you discuss that idea, immediately some other person would copy that idea and used to go and file a patent or a copyright or other thing. So the basic thing was that these ideas were not protected, and therefore people were very lethargic, or people were reluctant to invest a lot of money in the intellectual property. So therefore, to protect this idea, to give the moral encouragement to the inventors, government has come up with this intellectual property right. So it is similar like other right. So once you own that property, the right belongs to you, the property belongs to you, and you are the owner of the property. So it's just like a property. Now, when we talk of property, property is immovable property. That may be land, houses, building. Movable property may be in the form of car, pen, drive class. So immovable property is basically which cannot be moved from one place to the another. For example, you are having house, building. This is a property which is owned by you, but it is not movable. You cannot move it. Whereas there are movable properties like car, pen, etc., dress, furniture, which can be moved from one place to another. So again, once you buy this property, the right belongs to you. Similarly, intellectual property is also a property which is intangible. Now, what is that intangible? Intangible means it cannot be seen by naked eyes. So when we are talking of intellectual property, it is intangible. That means it cannot be seen by naked eyes. Now, what is that intellectual property? Take, for example, a simple example, a mobile phone. A mobile phone, you are pressing one button, immediately Facebook is activated. If you are pressing some another button, WhatsApp is activated. If you want to make a call, you can make a call by pressing some button. You want to send mail, you can press that button. So all these functions on various value added services can be activated by just pressing a single button from your mobile phone. Now, how that mobile phone works, nobody is aware of. But something is there because of which once you press that button, that phone works in that way. It gets activated to Facebook, or it gets activated to WhatsApp or any other value-added services. So basically, this is the intellectual property which is embedded in the article of trade. It cannot be seen by naked eyes. You cannot see how that mobile phone works. Nobody knows, but you just know how only to press that button and start working with that function. So how that is working is not aware of. So that is the intellectual property which is embedded in the mobile phone, and therefore it is intangible, means you cannot see, but it is something is there because of which that mobile phone is working. You are just pressing the channels, TV channels by remote, the channel gets changes. How that channel changes, nobody is known, but you know when you press this channel, that channel show will run on, that channel will play. This is nothing but the intellectual property which is embedded in these articles of trade. Articles of the trade now includes mobile phone or any other television or any electronic gadget. Just you start the bike by pressing the key, that bike will start. How that bike starts, nobody is known. So that is the intent. That is the intellectual property, which is the result of human intervention, and therefore it is intangible. You cannot see it. It is there. It is there because of which that phone works, because of which that car works, or because of that bike works. So this is nothing but the intellectual property. So basically, intellectual property, there are many domains under which different properties are registered, and there is lack of confusion. Now, when we talk, somebody comes to patent office and says, "Sir, I had written a book. I want to get a patent on that, or I want to get a design on that." So we have to say, "No, sir, we cannot give a patent to a book. That is to be registered under the copyright." So basically, when we talk of intellectual property, it is broadly classified into patents, design, trademarks, geographical indications, semiconductor integrated circuits, layouts, protections of plant varieties, and trade secrets. So basically, these are the 7 types of intellectual property which are in force and are governed by the different laws. Now, what is the subject matter of this intellectual property is very important. So after this session, I want everybody to be very clear with all these doubts. You don't get confused with what kind of things for which you get a patent, or for what kind of things you get a copyright. So that doubts, I suppose, will be cleared by this end of the session. So basically, intellectual property is nothing but the result of human intellect. It is different. Now, what is the need of this intellectual property? So every day, technologies are changing. 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and changes are going on. There are everywhere, in every sector of production, or every sector of development technology. The technologies are changing rapidly. Once that, you can be saying the same thing, that the newspaper of today is waste of tomorrow. So because of these things, investment in research and development is high, then marketing costs have become very high, product life is becoming very shorter, and industries have become very competitive. So because of these things, there is a need that the intellectual property rights should be governed, or should be protected in the country for the technological development of that country. Technologies are very much changing, then investment in research and development is huge. It's not so easy that you can produce an intellectual property without any research and development, or without any laboratory trials, or whether you being the pharmacy students, it's not very easy to create a molecule and that will be life saving, or that may be useful in the treatment of COVID, or that may be useful in the treatment of some other diseases. So huge investment is required, a lot of money is there. Also, the product life is becoming shorter. Just like I said, 2G, then 3G, 4G. So 2G is getting absurd, 3G is getting absurd, very short, in a shorter period of time. So every time technologies are taking a faster speed than the things. So I told you that intellectual property requires not only the brain, but there are a lot of resources, manpower, money, time, laboratory, scales, and labor. Of course, labor is required. So therefore, to protect all these things, intellectual properties are governed and protected in India, also like other developing countries and developed countries. Okay. Now, coming to the objectives, that means why it is necessary to give the statutory expression to the moral and economic rights of the creator to their creation. People should be encouraged. So the people should be encouraged or motivated to go for different types of intellectual property. Now you can see there are so many shows. That is now latest show which is going as Shark Tank. You can see many entrepreneurs who are coming there with their different theories, with different experimentations, and how they are getting funded. So basically, the basic theme is that you should be able to encourage the intellectual property right, because this is the property where you need not require much huge investment. But when huge investment is required, that is can be provided by so many entrepreneurs or so many business tycoons that you can see. So basically, it is to give statutory expression and to promote as a deliberate act of government policy, creativity and dissemination and application of its result to encourage the fair trading, which would definitely contribute to the economic and social development of that country. So basically, the moral theory is the fruits of a man's labor belong to him. Just like you plant a tree in your garden, and the fruits of which are being taken by the neighbors or stolen by some other person. So that has to be protected. So you mark a fence or you do something in so that the fruits of labor of that man or that fruits of that plant or that tree cannot be taken by some other person. So basically, to encourage this thing, government is coming with the government has given a strong and strong intellectual property regime rights under the different laws that we will see later. Now coming to different first intellectual property, that is copyright and related rights. You see these kind of symbols. You see these kind of symbols. That means, what does that mean? Copyright. Does that mean you have a right to copy? No, copy. You cannot copy. So copyright is a legal term describing rights given to the creators for their literary, artistic, musical, dramatic, cinematographic film and sound recording. So these are the 6 domains under which you get a copyright. So understand that copyright is a legal term given to the creators for their literary, artistic, musical, dramatic, cinematographic film and sound recording. So these are the 6 domains under which you get a copyright protection. So whenever you come across this kind of work, you understand that is the subject, particularly that is essentially the subject matter of copyright. Now, what is that copyright? Copyright gives the creator of the original work exclusive right to it. Exclusive right means only that person can use that right. Now, that includes rights of performers or performers or producers of sound recording and broadcasting economies. So, understand that copyright doesn't cover any idea and information themselves. Only the form or the manner in which they are expressed is being protected. For example, you have got one idea, you have one story, or you write one book, or you have an idea about that book, and you explain it to some other person, and the person immediately reproduce that idea into some book. So the copyright is not for the idea. Copyright is the for the expression. How you express that thing, that is for which you get a copyright protection. I was very happy that in your introductory part that you got one copyright. So that means this organization or this MET is very well aware of their rights about intellectual property. Particularly, you have got 5 patents and 1 copyright. So that seems very remarkable. And I suppose this will be a continuing trend that in further you will also go ahead with many more copyright and patents along with another intellectual properties. So basically the idea is copyright doesn't cover the idea or information. It is to be covered only when it is expressed. Now, for example, you see many love stories, many movies. The theme is of a love story. There is one hero, there is one heroine, and the same story, love stories are going on. But the way it has been expressed is different. For example, you see Maine Pyar Kiya, then you see love story, or when you see 1942 a love story, or many other love stories which are coming. Dil Wale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. So the way idea is same, but the way it is in express is different. For example, you see many lost and found films or many revenge stories. The theme is same, but the way it is expressed, the way it is being shown, or the way it is being presented is different. So that is the way the presentation is being covered under the copyright. So that is one thing. Then copyrights related to creation of human right. The owner has not only the right for his original work, but also in the creating work that is derived from his original work. Now, what is that? See, its translation. Now, Three Idiots was a book written by Chetan Bhagat. Then its translation or adaptation by some filmmaker on a film based on that original work results in the related rights. So copyright includes other related rights. So once you write a book, Chetan Bhagat's book was there, and for which he has made a movie, Three Idiots, or that Two States. This is nothing but the adaptation work. So basically the copyright also is protected with the so definitely once this copyright is been governed or by taken by some other company, that may be Karan Johar or that may be another producer or whoever the filmmakers are, they have to necessarily take permission of the copyrighted work from the original author, right? So that is relating to related rights. Then we will come out to what is the literary artistic. Now I told you copyrights exist in literary, films, dramatic, musical, artistic, sound recording. So whenever you come across these things, you understand that it has to be necessarily registered under the Copyright Act. Now, what is that literary work? Literary works include whenever you write a book or an article in a newspaper, or whenever you set a question paper or write some catalog, write some dictionaries, lecture if reduced to writing, then if you write some computer software, computer program, or a lyrics of a song. So whenever you do any of these activities, it comes under the domain of literary work, and that has to be necessarily registered under the copyright. Now don't get confused that I have written a book or I have written article in newspaper, give me patent. No, my dear friend, at that time you will say no. So basically understand that copyright, whenever is literary work is there, it has to be necessarily registered under the copyright. So that may be, whenever we talk of literary work, that may be in the form of books, newspaper, or any other articles which you write in the newspaper, or any other things that you related to literary work. Then artistic work may include drawings, paintings, diagram, charts, works of sculpture, engraving, advertisement, posters, industrial and engineering drawings, photographs. All these activities fall under the domain of artistic work, and therefore it has to be necessarily registered under the copyright. Don't get confused that I have created one drawing, or I have created a Mona Lisa drawing, or I have created some drawing, for give me a patent or give me a design. We will not give, because that is necessarily registered under the artistic work, and therefore falls under the domain of copyright. Then musical work, musical work may be in the form of graphical notation, sound recording. Then dramatic work may be in the form of a play, recitation, choreographic work. Then a dumb show, fixed in writing, script, scenario of a cinematographic film. All these domain pertains to the musical and dramatic work, and therefore it has to be necessarily registered under the Copyright Act. Then there are broadcasters' right. What are the broadcasters' right? Now you see Kapil Sharma show. It's been broadcasted on Sony TV. Similarly, you see Shark Tank, that has been broadcasted on Sony TV. Now, why these shows are? Can you see this show on Zee TV? No, because the broadcasters have the channels. The Sony TV has acquired the right from the producer of the show to get this show definitely a show to be viewed only on that channel. Therefore, whenever broadcasters' rights are there, these are the rights which a broadcasting organization is given in a broadcast. The broadcast could be a television broadcast or a radio broadcast. It may be anything. For example, you see Zee TV, Antakshari, it is seen only on Zee TV. You cannot see it on Star TV or the Colors TV, because the show, the producers of that or the channel has acquired the right from the producer. Now, when you are talking of broadcasters' right, you see whenever India wins a match, or whenever some Indian model wins a fashion contest, or any other remarkable achievement is made by some Indian players, it is shown on many other channels, basically on news channel. And but while showing it on the clip, now India wins World Cup. Now by showing these clippings, how that India wins, they are showing some small gist or a summary of that 2-3 minutes clip, stating the important parts. Now that is nothing but the clips which have been taken by the broadcasting organization. For example, you see the words courtesy source Star Sports, courtesy Doordarshan. All this is nothing but the broadcasters' right. They have acquired the rights from the person or the producer or the channel to show this telecast or show that clip with the permission of that thing. So this is nothing but the broadcaster right. Then there are performers right. Any actor, singer, musician, dancer, acrobat, juggler, all this one who performs a circus act, or one who person delivering a lecture, or anyone who makes a performance is nothing but the performer, and therefore it is again covered under the performers right. Now section 16 or 17 of the Copyright Act says that it is not mandatory to register your copyright The moment you write the book or the moment you create some literary, musical, artistic, dramatic, or cinematographic film work or any sound recording, the copyright exists. But mind you, my dear friend, though it is not mandatory, but it is always advisable that you get your work registered. We can see this by a small example. Now, there was Mr. Mahesh Doijode who has filed a litigation for injunction, for temporary injunction, who sought a temporary injunction from Mumbai High Court, stating that the Yashraj Films had copied the movie Fan from his book written in 1997 titled with Abhineta, and Yashraj has infringed the copyright on the same. But mind you, my dear friend, he has not registered that book. So when the matter came for hearing in the court asked him how this work went to Yashraj Films. He was not able to explain how that work went to Yashraj Films, and therefore court denied him the interim injunction, and then the movie Fan was released. So this is basically the theme, that he had Mr. Dhoijode taken a copyright in his place, he would have got much more royalty, or he would have got the royalty for making this film Fan, and he would have got much more money from that from his artistic literary work. So basically the theme is you should protect your copyright. It's your baby, so you should protect your baby, or you should take a copyright on the literary, artistic, musical, dramatic work as well as sound recording. So this is the theme, though it is not mandatory the moment, but you should be able to explain, you should be able to prove that how this work, how the work belongs to you. That is the theme. So I suppose copyright is clear with you. So whenever you are talking of copyright, understand there should be literary, artistic, musical work, and that has to be, I told you how this literary work includes artistic work, musical work, dramatic work, and broadcasters' right, performers' right. So how these things are worked under the copyright. So that is the theme of copyright. So now don't get confused that I want to patent a book, or I want to do something with this kind of literary, artistic, musical. So whenever you come across the literary, artistic, musical, dramatic, sound recording, and cinematographic work, it has to be necessarily registered under the copyright. So I suppose copyright is clear with you. Okay. Now coming to another intellectual property, that is trademarks. Trademarks and service marks. See, what are these trademarks and service marks? Are distinctive symbols that help the consumer to distinguish between the competing goods or services, and are a major part of a goodwill of a company that enjoys in the trade. So basically, trade name is a name of an enterprise which also individualizes the enterprise in the mind of the customers. Now you see this kind of symbols. Now while going for a picnic or going for some outing, you are going with your family, and suddenly somebody says, I want a bottle of mineral water. You stop your car there and go to shop. What do you ask? 90% of people ask, ek Bisleri dena. So what is that Bisleri? Bisleri is a renowned trademark. Trademark in the sense, whenever you think of Bisleri bottle, one idea comes to your mind that it has to be Bisleri only. So though you are not asking give me a bottle of mineral water, you are saying ek Bisleri dena. Simple thing. So whenever you have whenever you want to buy a paste, immediately one thing comes to your mind is, what it comes to your mind is Colgate. Similarly, when you are talking of salt, immediately Tata Salt comes to your mind. Whenever you are talking of shoes, immediately Bata comes to your mind. So all these things are nothing but the signs are capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one enterprise from those of the other. So whenever you see this kind of symbol, this indicates that this is a symbol of Nike shoes, and then this is of Puma. Then whenever you see this kind of symbol, this is nothing but the McDonald. So this is nothing but the brand. It has some brand value and it has a goodwill, because of which that comes to your mind. So whenever you think of water, you Bisleri, mineral water, Bisleri comes to your mind. Or whenever you think of any pizza, you immediately comes to Pizza Hut or Domino's. Or whenever you think of buying some burger or other thing, McDonald comes to your mind. Shoes, that may be of various companies. So this is because of the trademarks. Similarly, there are service marks. So whenever you want to send some courier, or whenever you want to send some books, or whenever you want to send some important documentation or something, immediately you one thing comes to your that Indian Post, or it may be sent through Blue Dot, or it may be sent to FedEx. So whenever these services are involved, so these services are being again the service marks. So these are again registered under the trademarks. Now you see subject matter, that means a brand name or a tagline, slogan, like tagline, life's good. All these are nothing but the famous renowned trademarks. Then certification marks. Certification marks means ISI mark, ISO mark, FSSAI. All these are nothing but the certification marks. Then sound mark. There is also a sound mark. You just, when you see the Britannia advertisement, there's one small musical clip comes. Tan ta ta ta. That is the sign of ting ting ding. That is the sign of Britannia Tigers. Then there is maybe logos. Then there may be moving marks. All these things are nothing but the renowned trademarks. So whenever you just understand these are the service mark or logos, these are the device marks that may be in the form of signs, symbols, logo, collective mark, certification mark, or service mark. So whenever you see this, this have a brand value, and this because of this. So whenever you think of buying something, like whenever you think of searching something, Google comes to your mind, or whenever you want to buy something of computer or something related to that, then you may think of Intel. Then whenever you see, this is the sign of trademarks of, just once you see this sign, indicates that it is a Apple sign. So the product is having that kind of quality and features, and because of which you are very well aware that Apple, oh, I want to buy Apple product, or I want to buy a iPhone, or I want to buy Apple MacBook. So all these things are nothing but the trademarks. So basically trademarks are the signs, logos, and they are applied on articles of trade, and because of which these companies enjoy the goodwill. Now if it so happens that once you go to market and you want to buy a Nokia phone, Nokia, and that phone is costing around 7,000 rupees, and then you go to another shop where there is a duplication, Nokia, and that is given to you at 4,000 rupees, but you are happy that shopkeeper is you may say in your mind that shopkeeper was cheating me, that was charging 7,000 rupees, but how this person is giving me 4,000 rupees. And so once I come back to home, I come back home and I see that this is the difference, and that time you feel that you are being cheated by that shopkeeper, and then you immediately go for that bargaining, or you go for that arguments. So basically trademarks are nothing but the signs are capable of distinguishing the goods or services from one enterprises of that of others. So I suppose trademark is clear with you. Okay. Now there are some certain things. It must be graphically represented. It must be distinctive, and it must not be descriptive. It must not be deceptively similar to the known trademarks. I told you that Nokia spelling Nokia and Nokia. So this is deceptively similar spelling with the same font or same type. So that kind of things are to be avoided. Then you cannot use geographical indications, deities, God's photo, or God's structure, or God's national leaders or heroes or symbols. That cannot be used for a trademark. I suppose trademark is clear with you. Then coming to geographical indications. Whenever you think of Agra, what comes to your mind? Agra ka Taj Mahal, and then another thing is Agra ka Petha. So similarly, there are basmati rice, Darjeeling tea, Kanjipuram sale, Kalfansa mango, Nagpur orange, Kolhapuri chappal, Bikaneri bhujia. All these things are nothing but the geographical indicators. Now, what is that geographical indication? Geographical indication is a sign used on goods that have a specific geographical origin and possesses qualities or a reputation that is solely due to the place of origin. Now, what is that? See, what is famous in Nasik? Grapes. Whenever you think of grapes, immediately the picture comes in your mind is grapes. So grape, because why that grape is famous? Because it is having a specific origin or a specific qualities or a reputation, and that is due to the slowly the place of origin. So there may be some climatic feature, or there may be something, the soil of that area may be such that the product which you get here, or the product you produce there, are definitely having definitely have a edge over the competing goods. Now, when you talk of grapes from Nasik and grapes from Pune, nobody will buy grapes of Pune because people know Nasik grapes are famous. Similarly, oranges. When you are talking of oranges, it has to necessarily be of Nagpur. Whenever you are talking of mangoes, it has to be necessarily from the Konkan or Ratnagiri or Deoghar. So that is having the competitive edge. So geographical indication is a name or a sign used on certain products which corresponds to the specific geographical location or origin. That may be a town, region, or country. Such goods enjoy an advantage over the competing goods slowly due to the because of place of origin, and therefore which becomes a intellectual property, and therefore it has to be registered. Now, what is that? See here, what happens? A group of farmers or cultivators from that area. Now, if you see, talk of Nasik's group of farmers or group of cultivators from that area already came to our office. They have filed a geographical indication mark. They have explained how that mark is then, and after the procedural part was complete, now they are being given awarded as a geographical indication tag. Now, what happens once they apply that tag on the goods? That this particularly this good belongs to Nasik, grapes belongs to Nasik, and particularly from that area. So once they are sent for export or some other in area, some other parts of our country, it definitely has a economic age, or definitely has a higher age. People are ready to pay more money, because now when we are exporting grapes from Nasik to some other part of world, that may be USA or some other countries, so definitely that product will have an economic age. Whenever you are talking of basmati rice, that it will have a definite age, because once you think of that thing, Kolhapuri chappal, then Sholapuri chadars, all these things are nothing but the now one, I suppose there's a place near Nasik which you might be very well aware of. Yeola. What is famous for Yeola? Yeola Paithani. That is the famous thing which is popular in Yeola. So it's near Nasik. Okay. So these are the geographical indicators. So basically it indicates that the product is produced in a certain place and has certain characteristic which is due to the place of production. Now coming to another important intellectual property. So that is industrial design. So what is industrial design? Industrial design is an ornamental or aesthetic aspect of an article that may be consist of three-dimensional features such as shape or surface, or of two-dimensional features such as patterns, lines, or colors. Now, what are these industrial designs? See, you see, there's a picture wherein you can see bottle that may be of from 500 ml to 5 liter or 10 liter. So, but or 20 liter. So, but they are having different shapes. Similarly, you see mobile phones; they are having different shapes. So, this is nothing but the ornamental or the aesthetic approach or aesthetic look of that article, because of which people are lured or customers are lured to buy that kind of thing. So every day you see different kinds of shapes of mobile phone, television, biscuits, and many other things like handicraft, watches, jewelry, fashion, or any other luxury items that may be industrial, medical implants, houseware, furnitures, electrical appliances, vehicles, architecture, structures, textiles, designs, toys, etc. Then many checks, many designs on shirts, sarees. All these things are nothing but the industrial design. Mind you, they have an economic age, and therefore they have a commercial value. Now, whenever you talk of all these things, so it is nothing but the ornamental or aesthetic aspect of an article, and that is applied on the article, and because of which it lures the customer to buy that thing. So what is basically required for a industrial design? It basically relates to a shape, configuration, or pattern or ornamentation, and it's applied by to an article by industrial process. So once you apply, or once you make that, even you see biscuits, different shapes of biscuits are coming, and it should be new and original and not should be It should not be previously published, and it should have an appeal to the eye. So once you see this thing, you should have appeal. Now these are the things. When these chairs came in market, these are the bum chairs. Earlier we have a traditional chairs. You see different chairs are there, but once this chair came in that movie Three Idiots, the bum chairs, it was an instant hit. That it was making such an sale that all the schools, small playgroups, nurseries, kindergartens, even public gardens, they started installing this kind of chairs. So this was a instant hit, or this was an industrial design that lured the customers, that was having an aesthetic or ornamental aspect, and because it lured the customer to buy. Similarly, you see cycles of different shape, which lures you to buy that thing. Then containers of meal. Then even you see many shapes of glasses or bottles. Then you see furniture, watches, cycles, then many other household articles. Now even you can see now in the recent trend, different shapes of masks are coming. All these are nothing but the designs. Then you see the sets of articles, then cutlery set, furniture set. All these are nothing but the designs, industrial design, and therefore it has registered under the Designs Act. So this is clear with the designs. So we basically it relates to shape, figure, configuration, shape, or ornamentation, and basically it has the aesthetic look, and because of which the customers are buying this thing. Because you see different size types of saris, or different types of shirts, or different types of clothing, or different types of chappals, or different types of shoes, or anywhere, everywhere you are using, where you are coming across new shapes of bottles, everywhere new shapes of particles, and these are nothing but the industrial design. So coming to very important session, which I think is important from the part of pharmacy, and that is patents. What is patent? Now basically, what is patent? So what is patent? Can anybody tell me, or what is patent known in Hindi or Marathi? Why what we call is patent in Hindi? Every day, many times you are using this. अरे इसका तो ये patented word है. ये हाँ तो याचा patented dialogue आहे. So what that patented dialogue, or what is that patented thing is? Now we basically understand patented patents are in Hindi or Marathi known as ekaswa. Ekaswa means एक का अधिकार. एक का अधिकार means एकाचा अधिकार. एकाचा अधिकार means only one person's right. That means monopoly right. So basically, what is that patent? You will be very much clear with the slides. Patent is an intellectual property right, again relating to brain, relating to inventions. Now I'm talking of, mind you, please pay attention because this is very important slide. When we are talking of patent is an intellectual property right relating to inventions. So mind you, this word is playing very important role, inventions. So what I mean to say here, you should not come with a discovery. There is a big difference between invention and discovery. My dear friend, many scientists, many renowned people, many research scholars, many students come to patent office by copying some discoveries from here and there, and they said, now I want a patent on that. That time we have to very much strictly say that this is not an invention, this is a discovery. So mind you, keep that thing in mind. So when I'm talking, every word is important of this slide. Once you understand this slide, patent is over for you. Now basically patent is an intellectual property right. I told you, whenever you come across intellectual property, that means it has to necessarily come from brain. So that is one thing. Then it is related to inventions. So I told you there should be invention. Now what is invention and discovery? For example, you take Christopher Columbus. While going, he found America. Similarly, Alexander Vasco da Gama came here in India, and he came on Calicut Beach and he found India. India was already there. America was already there. Similarly, you see many cobalt or many other minerals which are abundantly present in our nature. Somebody just finds it out. That is discovery. No human intervention is required. He just sees that thing and he finds out. Okay, that is the thing which is then Newton's theory. Again, it was just observation. It was not a invention. It was a discovery. So when we talk of invention, necessarily involves human intervention. Lot of laboratory scale experimentation. Was mobile phone lying anywhere else in the nature? No. Mobile phone was created by human brain. Similarly, car or many other articles now which are using, that may be fan, television, air conditioner, or any other things which are you are daily using, that are necessarily created. That may be any pharmacy drug, that may be paracetamol, that may be any brufen, painkiller, or any other drug that may be produced by laboratory scale experimentation. Human intervention is there, human brain is there, and because of which that result, that substance is result or that product is produced. So that is nothing but the invention. Okay, so basically it's a intellectual property right relation relating to invention. Now once that invention may be in the form of process or it may be in the form of product. So it has to be necessarily created, the invention has to be necessarily created in the form of a process or a product. Then it is an exclusive monopoly right. Exclusive, I told you, ek ka adhikar, only one person's right. So granted to the inventor by the government to use the patented invention for a period of 20 years. So basically the term of patent is 20 years. So patent is a exclusive monopoly right granted to the inventor for inventions to use that patented invention for a period of 20 years, thus preventing others from making, using, importing, or selling in exchange of full disclosure of your invention. Now, what happens? You write something or you create some invention, right? You come to patent office and file your invention. Once that invention is filed to patent office carries out its procedure relating to examination, search, and all that thing. Once that examination is over and everything is there, and once you get a patent, nobody can use that patent without your permission. And that period of monopoly is 20 years. But what happens for that purpose? After that 20 years period is over, the invention goes to public domain. Now then, after 20 years, you cannot renew it. Public is free to use that invention. So the benefit which you want to create or what you created with your invention, the benefit is for only a period of 20 years. After that 20 years, that goes in public domain. So basically, patent is that right which is given for a period of 20 years. And during that period, you can sell the patented invention to some other countries or some other places. Mind you, patent rights are territorial in nature. Territorial in nature means they are limited only for the jurisdiction. There is no term as global patent. But you can file patent through PCT and get patent in different countries also. That is different aspect. But right now in present scenario, you just understand patent is related to invention. Now basically when I talked of inventions, again somebody comes to patent office or somebody comes to me, sir, आपने बोला था ये पेटेंट इन्वेंशन को मिलता है, ये इन्वेंशन में लेके आया हो, मुझे पेटेंट दो. Then we will say, my dear friend, okay, you have got an invention. Now we will see that whether that invention has novelty, inventive step, or industrial application. So these are the basic things that we look into the patented invention application, patent application. Now what is that? Now we will say, what is novelty? Novelty means, now you say that I have come out with an invention, but we will see that whether the invention is novel. Novel in the sense it is new. It's not a copied work or it's not a replica of some other person's copied work. What happens? You go to Google and find some invention and just come to patent office and say that this is the no. We will search a thorough search. We have a team of dedicated examiners wherein we conduct a thorough search. We have stream wise. That means mechanical, electronics, engineering, then chemical engineering, then we have pharmacy, pharmaceutical, biotechnology, all the specialized examiners wherein they conduct a search for novelty, inventive step, and industrial applicability. Now what is that novelty? I told you the invention should be not only new, it should not be known to somebody, or it should not be a copied work. So that is, once that hurdle is cleared, then we see come to inventive step. So there are another two aspects of inventive step. What is that inventive step? Inventive step means, as per section 21J of the JA of the Patents Act, it says that inventive step means a feature, or that is a feature of an invention that has technical advancement. I am talking technical advancement or economic significance, or both, or anyone. So basically, when we talk of inventive step, it is that feature which is having technical advancement over the existing knowledge, or there is economic significance, or both, or any one of them is sufficient that the invention is inventive. Now, what is that? See, technology, when there is a technical advancement, see, earlier we have a floppy disk wherein we used to store 15 MB or 25 MB or 50 to 50 MB data. Then eventually the trend changed with some development or technological development. Then came with a CD. Then came with a pen drive, which was for 0.5 GB or 1 GB. Then now we have pen drives with 1 TB also. So this is nothing but the technical advancement. You see, earlier we used to hear songs on that gramophone, HMV gramophone. Then came cassette players, then cassettes, now CD players, VCD players. All these things are nothing but the technical advancement in that field. So we see technical advancement over the existing knowledge. That is one aspect. Then another aspect is economic significance. Now, for example, you are making a medicine that may be remdesivir, which is costing you 40 lakh, 40,000. Now, if you have come with another process, or if you have come with something new invention or a new process, so that the cost of that remdesivir is reduced drastically from 40,000 to 4,000 or some less price. So that is nothing but the economic significance. You see, there is some economic significance. Why we should buy a drug which is available, available from that company of 40,000 rupees, 40,000 rupees in, and now we are getting it at 400 rupees. We will see, yes, there is economic significance. So that is one thing. If both things are there, that may be technical advancement is there or economic significance is there, then it's well and good. But even if one is there, we will see that patent application qualifies the inventive step stage. Now, third important aspect is industrial applicability. Now, what is that industrial applicability? I told you that it is an exclusive monopoly right. Patent is an exclusive monopoly right. So, if it so happens that, for example, the producer, the Gilead company of USA has got a patent for the molecule of remdesivir, right? Now, what happens if Gilead will not produce anything, or it will just keep that remdesivir to itself and it will not give to the public? What will happen? So then we will say that no, there should be industrial applicability. What is that industrial applicability? Industrial applicability is nothing but you should be able to produce n number of articles. It should not be restricted to one or two items. So you should be able to satisfy the reasonable requirement of public at large at a reasonable price. Section 84 of our Indian Patent Act says that talks of compulsory licensing. Now, what is that compulsory licensing? Compulsory licensing is that if your patented invention is not available to the public at a reasonable price, and at the most reasonable requirement of public is not satisfied, then government of India can grant him a compulsory license. Now, this is what happened with the remdesivir. What happened? Remdesivir was having a patent on by Gilead company. Now, when this demand for remdesivir increased, we were shortage of remdesivir. You might have been aware of during the first phase of COVID. There was so havoc made by this remdesivir that it was not available. People used to buy it in black or whether what many things were coming to our knowledge that this because of this remdesivir. So immediately when the reasonable requirement was not satisfied, government had made a pressure on that Gilead, and they had necessarily filed given 8 compulsory license, 8 licenses, 8 licensing they have done with the other Indian companies or other companies, so that the reasonable requirement of public was satisfied. So that is what in importing or selling. That means once they got the right, and they collected huge royalty from that firms. Of course, they have got reasonable money from that collaborations they have made with the licensing. So this is nothing but the industrial applicability. So once we see, apart from these, we have certain exception under section 3 and 4 of the Indian Patent Act. For example, a method of treatment or method of agriculture or inventions against morality or inventions against the known molecule, that is 3D, that is evergreening, that is also not allowable. Then methods of agriculture, horticulture is not permissible. Then plant, animals, or human beings parts are not patentable. All these things fall under the domain of section 3 and section 4. Then industrial the inventions which are harmful or which are a threat to industry Indian security or defense, that are also not granted patent under section 4. So once you see these are the things which we once these hurdles are crossed, then we grant a patent. So basically, three things are there. That means you have to be there should be an invention that should be necessarily a new invention. Then there should be inventive step. There should be technical advancement or economic significance. And third, there should be you should be able to produce the articles in n number. You should not restrict or you should not keep that monopoly with you. Reasonable requirement of public has to be certified. Once you cross the section 3 and section 4 hurdles, the patent is granted to you. So I suppose these slides makes everything clear about your thing. So before going in for patent, it's our humble request to carry out the prior art search in the sense that may be in the form of novelty. So before going in for any invention, you just check whether this sort of invention has been carried out. There are many websites available on which your prior art search can be conducted, and to ascertain whether there is a novelty or whether there can be two documents that relates to destroying the inventive step of that document. So this is basically the patent. So patents are again one of the oldest form of IP that started in 1700. The aim is to encourage the economic and technological development by rewarding intellectual creativity. Now, when I'm talking of patents are one of the oldest form of IP protection, what does it mean? It means during the earlier times of emperor or the kings, what they had some cooks, and the cook used to prepare some delicious dishes. Once the king liked the dishes or the emperor liked the dish, he used to give him some reward by giving him that may be in the form of some gold coins, or that may be in the form of some other money sort of things, or and also along with that the king should award him that once the dish was to be prepared, it would necessarily be prepared by that specific cook only. So that was the award given to the. So you can trace the existence of patents right from the earlier oldest forms. So basically, patent was there, and the aim was to encourage economic and technological development by rewarding intellectual creativity. Now, this is the example of a best Indian patent, first Indian patent, which was granted to 1856. So it was before the revolt of Indian 57 independence. The patent was granted. So you can trace the existence of patent in the age 1856. That is granted to George Alfred Depenning, an efficient Pankha pulling machine. So this is what the patents is related with. Then comes with another intellectual property, that is semiconductor integrated circuits layouts design. So again, basically it's a new form of intellectual property, and layout designs of, that is topography of integrated circuits, is a new area of intellectual property which has appeared in the computer technology and has acquired importance mainly as the technology advances. Now, what is that semiconductor integrated circuit? Means a product having a transistors and other circuitry elements which are inseparably formed on a semiconductor material or on an insulating material or inside the semiconductor material and designed to perform an electronic circuitry function. Now, what is that? You see this kind of motherboards, or you can see this kind of things, which are these motherboards you can see in computers or laptops or in the television sets. All these are the integrated circuits, and because of which they perform a specific activity, and that is what the semiconductor integrated circuits are. Now, mind you that patents Act under Section 3 says that patents cannot be granted to semiconductor integrated circuits. So that is integrated chips and all that things. So to give protection in some other form, semiconductor integrated circuits layout and design the act was formed, and under which protection is given to this semiconductor. So whenever you see this kind of things, also motherboard on which some semiconductor indicated circuits are performing some function which necessarily gives some output, are nothing but the semiconductor integrated chips, and therefore they are registered under the uh, semiconductor integrated circuits layouts design. Okay. Then comes to another important thing is that is trade secret. Now, what is that trade secret? Trade secret is any practice or a process of a company that is generally not known outside the company. Information is considered as trade secret as it gives the company an economic advantage over its competitor and is often the product of internal research and development, agreement, and confidentiality. Now, what is that trade secret? Trade secret is nothing but a secret that is kept within the company. It is not known to any other person. Even the persons working in the company are not aware of what is that, how that formula works. Now, you can see every day you use Google. If you need some information regarding MET Bhujbal city, now what is that? Just you put that thing in Google, and you get n number of documents coming to your site. So how the you will get n number of documents related to MET. Similarly, you see whatever you want to find out, you just go to Google and search. Now, how that search functions, the algorithm, how that algorithm works, how that algorithm functions, nobody is aware of, but you get n number of documents. So Google has kept that thing a trade secret. It is not aware to anybody. The public is not aware. You are using it. You will get n number of documents for whatever keywords you put in that search. You will get n number of documents. But how that documents are produced, how that work comes, nobody is aware of. And how that algorithm works, nobody is known. So Google has kept it as a trade secret. Similarly, you see KFC fried chicken, how that recipe is carried out, nobody is aware of, but it is there. Then Coca-Cola formula. Then Coca-Cola is having the same taste over 100 years. It is having the same taste. Then VD40, that is anti-rust oil. Again, how that functions is nobody is known. Then McDonald's mustard sauce, which is a main recipe of that McDonald's, is not nobody is aware of how that sauce is made. So coming to one important example of trade secrets, we will go with a case study of Coca-Cola. Now, what happened in earlier times? Coca-Cola had got a patent in 1893, right? Now that patent was for during that tenure, the patent was for 14 years. Now the patent tenure is 20 years, but not in India. It was outside India. Though they have got a patent in 1893, but once that patent lapsed, Coca-Cola was in public domain. I told you, after the period is over, public is free to use that invention. So what happened after the patent of Coca-Cola lapsed? This was in public domain. Now what public started using it? Then to save their market or to do something, they have created some another formula by protecting, making some changes in the earlier formula, and then they have not preferred to keep it as a get a patent on that, but they have preferred it to keep it as a trade secret. So till date, the taste of Coca-Cola is same that was 100 years earlier. Nobody is aware of. It is seen that, or there are many stories going on internet, or many things we hear from that. The two partners of Coca-Cola never go in same flight, or they never go in same car, or they never travel same together. So this is how they have kept it as a trade secret. So now then there are many different plant varieties. You see, you can nowadays you come across different shapes of fruits, different colors of capsicum. You see, there are earlier used to get only green capsicum or red capsicum. Now yellow capsicum is coming. On many other colors of capsicum is coming. You see these flowers of different roses of different colors are there. So many plant varieties are being developed, and every day you see different shapes of fruits. All this is nothing but the plant varieties or plant, and therefore it is protected under the protection of plant varieties and farmers right. So basically to encourage the farmers with different plant varieties, this you see bt bengan on all that thing, brinjal and different shapes of all the things are nothing but the new varieties. To protect them, we are giving protection under the plant variety and farmers right act. So this is what with relates to plant protection. So it's mind you, keep this thing, that is also one of the intellectual property. Now that's what we deal with, dealt with patent, trademarks, design, geographical indications, copyright, plant protection, and integrated circuit. Now important thing is, we have a dedicated act in place to protect these inventions, that may be patent or that may be trademark or that may be designs. Now, when you are coming to patent, the patents are governed by the Patents Act. Now, its registration is compulsory. You have to necessarily file an application for patent, and its period is for 20 years. Now, coming to trademark, it's governed by the Trademark Act. Its registration is optional, but you can renew it for 10 years and it is renewable forever. Then designs. The designs are governed by Design Act. It is for 10 years and renewable by another 5 years. Geographical indication. Again, they are registered or governed by the Geographical Indications of Good Registration and Protection Act 1999. Now the registration is compulsory. It's for a period of 10 years and it's renewable forever. Then coming to copyright. Copyright, again, Copyright Act 1957 as and when amended. Its lifetime is optional lifetime of author plus 60 years. There are different periods under which different protection is given to copyrights. So that we can see. Then plant protections, again governed by Plant Protection Varieties Act. Its registration is compulsory. It's for 15 years and for 18 years. For trees, it is 18 years. And plants is 15 years. Then integrated circuits, again they are governed by the Integrated Semiconductor Integrated Circuits Layout Design Act 2000. Its registration is compulsory. Now one simple thing you come across, so whenever you have idea and you express, that may be in the form of literary, artistic, musical, dramatic, sound recording, or video, cinematographic film, that will necessarily result in copyright. But when you have an idea and when you make some innovation or invention, that will necessarily result in patent. Similarly, when you have idea and with some quality or identity, it will indicate that there is a trademark which can be granted. Then idea and appearance, again appearance, that may be in the form of shape, designs. So that is again coming under the designs. So this is what we have to present with from my side. Now I would like to ask, any questions are there, or can we conduct some quiz also?
So can we take a few questions from students?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Dear students, if you have any doubt, any question related to IPR, please put it in the chat box. So there is one question, like, is there any provision to file a patent on already published work? Published by
That is what I told. See, already published work, you cannot be patent. You cannot file a patent. Now, only one issue is with that. So now, whenever you are research students, so whenever you come across, earlier the theory was publish and perish, publish or perish. What that mean? You just write a research article, research paper, and get it published. That was the earlier theme. And after that, some that research article used to go in some some good person's hand, and then he said, अरे यार ये तो अच्छा थी है, बहुत अच्छा article है और बहुत अच्छा paper है, why don't you, it will create some good patent on that. So that time somebody suggests that, and then they search and they go through some agent or they do some what kind of a work they want. But mind you, that has to be brought it to our notice before 12 months of the publication. So if that 12 months period is over, then we will say the document has lost its novelty. Okay, then it will not be treated as new. But and that has to be published in, again, well-known, renowned research publication. It has not to be published in any other local research journals, right?
Okay, sir. Sir, there is another question. Can we remove patent before 20 years once it is granted?
Yes, you can surrender. You can surrender your patent if you don't want to go ahead with the patent. You can surrender it by filing a simple form. Where in the procedure you can remove their patent from that thing.
Okay, so
even if you don't renew it, it will lapse on its own.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, sir. Sir, one student is asking, what is the scope of career in IPR for pharma students? And please tell us how to enter in this career.
Okay. That's very good and very important question. I was about to address it, but at the latter session, latter part. But right now, since the question has come up here, we will discuss in detail. See, first of all, whenever it comes to pharma patents or pharmaceutical patents, lot of pharmacists are required. Lot of pharmaceutical drug analysis or drug trials or drug. Every company is having its IPR cell, that is intellectual property protection cell. They are doing all these things for the protection of their intellectual property. So lot of scope is there. Now when we are talking of patents, there are three aspects, that is drafting, then prosecution, and then litigation part. So you basically the pharmacist work starts here with the drafting, and they can come and help with prosecution also, and of course they can enter in the litigation field also. So there is a scope on that. Now also we are conducting every year patent agents exam, wherein we conduct an exam on which you can register yourself as a patent agent after clearing that exam. This year the exam is on, I suppose, on 8th May. You can search it on our portal. We will get the dates on which whether you can file, you can claim or go in for that examination or not. So basically, science graduation is a requirement for getting a patent. So we are talking of patent. Of course, you can practice other intellectual property rights also, but for specifically for patents, you need to be a science graduate or a technology graduate. So here the role of a pharmacy graduate is definitely there in case of pharmaceutical industry or some pharmaceutical patent drafting. Many applications, many companies are having their own sales, and they are recruiting people who have qualified the patent agents exam also. So that is the there. You can enter and you can definitely help in drafting of these patent applications once you understand the procedure. So there is a lot of scope of that recruitment is there. And of course you can also start your independent practice also by becoming a registered patent agent and starting your many firms, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So what is the name of exam? Many of students
Patent
asking.
agents exam. Patent
Okay,
agents exam.
okay, okay.
So we have a under section 132, we have the provisions made for the patent registered patent agents, and these are the, mind you, these are the person who can practice only. These are the person who can practice with us only, with the controllers. They are allowed to participate in the hearing proceedings under section 14 of the act, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
there is a lot of scope. You can go in for that field also. Pharmaceutical business industries where you can work in R&D and create new molecules. There also you can enter by just having this kind of additional knowledge. This will preferred by the companies who are registered patent agents. Companies prefer them because they have the knowledge of pharmacy as well as techno-legal education about patents and filings and the procedure. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Can we move to the concluding session?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Um, Thank you, sir. On behalf of IMIT's Institute of Pharmacy, Bhujban Knowledge City, Adgaon, Nasik, I, Dr. Umesh Ladda, would like to thank our eminent guest, Dr. Ajay Thakur, sir. Thank you, sir, for making this webinar more interesting, informative, and innovative. I would like to express my profound thanks to the founder chairman of Mumbai Education Trust, Bhujbal Knowledge City, Honorable Chhagan Bhujbal sir, our trustees Honorable Samir Bhujbal sir, and Honorable Pankaj Bhujbal sir, and Chief Administrator Honorable Dr. Shefali Bhujbal madam for their continuous support and encouragement. I would like to thank Dr. Sanjay Kshirsagar, Principal of MEDS Institute of Pharmacy, for his support and guidance. Thank you all participants and teaching staff. With this note and the prior permission of our guest and respected principal, sir, I conclude today's webinar. Thank you all once again.
So one humble request to Dr. Sonone sir.
Yes, sir.
After this session is over, I just need the party list of participants who have participated this in the seminar or
Yes,
the
sir. Yes.
webinar to give me the name so that we can issue certificates in their name.
Yes, sir.
Also,
Yes.
if any student or any person has any doubt or any problem relating to intellectual property rights, you can feel free to ask Dr. Sonone sir, and he can definitely coordinate with me or any other person. We have a dedicated website, ipindia.nic.in, so wherein you can address all your queries or any doubts related to intellectual properties. So thank you once again for patience hearing, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my webinar in intellectual properties under the NIPAM. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir.
So I suppose we will leave now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.